A very special thank you to everybody who tunes in to the Justin Podcast. And I also want to give a special thanks to all my sponsors.
It's O Rewards Member Appreciation Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Stop in today and check out store-wide savings plus earn double points on over 225 items. It's our way of saying thank you. If you're not already a member, sign up today during O Rewards Member Appreciation Month. It's fast, easy, and free. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
He's considered to be the greatest announcer in XTV history. And now, Justin Turkeyleg brings his famous voice along with his awesome friends to the podcast world. This is Justin's Podcast.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Justin's Podcast. I am your host, Ernest Justin Turkeyleg. Happy to have you with us, ladies and gentlemen, on this beautiful Saturday morning. It's 11:06 a.m. And it's August 18th as I record this thing. Just sitting here in my room, man, and just enjoying life. You understand me? But man, it's like I just be moving all the time, and like in a time where I don't have to move, man, I just enjoy it, man. I just appreciate it. You feel me? Oh man, what's on my mind this week? Lots of things on my mind. Last night was a great show. We did a live show. XTV East Meets West, our 5th episode, and you know, that's probably the one of the most favorite things that I'm a part of here in XTV and on the XTV World Channel. That show has such a feel to it. I don't know what it is, because XTV has always done like live programming, or not live, but we've always done programming. We've always just, turned on the game and just let it fly. Sometimes we'll record it, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes we didn't, you know what I mean? Because a lot of times we didn't have the means to record like video. So sometimes we'll just record the audio. You know what I'm saying? And you'll just have to listen. Like when we did Day of Reckoning, we would just record the audio, and XTV Mania 4 and, a lot of those early XTV Manias are audio only. And then once we got into the digital era, I believe it was XTV Mania 9, we played that on the GameCube, and I think we just recorded the screen, but the quality is still very poor. And then it's not until like nowadays, like now, up to 2017 and now 2018, till we really got it down pat. Because even in 2017 when we came back, we was recording the TV still. We was in the prehistoric days. We didn't realize that the damn PS4 allowed you. We probably did, but we ain't had no headphones. That's what it was. And then we had ran out of space on the it was like about the 7th episode of NXTVN, and we ran out of space on the iPod or no, I think the iPod had died and we couldn't find the charger or something like that was going on. We was in an iPod deficit, and we just decided that we was gonna. We didn't know that you can turn on the record time to an hour either. We only had it at 15 minutes, so we was trying to keep every match under 15 minutes. You know what I mean? And so sometimes a lot of stuff would get cut in the beginning. And I think on that episode 7, you see Aaron versus Johnny Money, but the match starts in the middle, and so we record the audio on a different device and just play the video screen, and we'll be like, oh yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this matchup already in progress. What a great matchup this has been. Of course, you done missed half the match, but it was still good though. It was still real good. And then I think later on, J&W Boss smartened us up, and we've been rolling ever since. HD quality, beautiful quality, and yeah, man. I don't even remember why I said all that. I was trying to remember it as I was going, but I forgot. Excited about my guest today, ladies and gentlemen. Johnny Money. Johnny Money. He gonna be here. In fact, I had him. I talked to him on the phone, and I tell you what, man, he's still as excited as about XTV as he was, when he first came in. I can tell because he can go on about stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like he can just go on about XTV, or like a situation. You know what I mean? And and it's fun listening, to him talk about it and his perspective. I always enjoyed talking to the NXTV people about where they are, because and just about their careers in general, because it's like they like outsiders that's just coming in, and we like NXTV. We never had a situation where like so much talent came in at one time. You know what I mean? Talent usually comes in spurts. Like, oh, this is a new person. It's such and such. Like when Big Trap came in, like back in 2013. Like he just showed up as Romy's friends. I think that he that's like either Steve or Cole. Like these guys, and even Wells, they was just the guys in the background that was always laughing at the jokes of whoever was the top guy, like Killer or Romy. You know what I mean? They would just be the other guy, like rah, rah, a sound effect basically. And so that sound effect ends up getting the name after just doing it so much. Your gimmick gets over, and they're like, oh yeah, that's Johnny Wells. And so he starts to talk, his voice develops, and 8 years later, he's a damn, graduated all-star character. You know what I mean? For example, of course, Wells has been here for so much longer, but that's just like, the way of XTV. And now to have this influx of talent, all at one time, man. And they keep coming in. Adrian Knight, Tiger Tyson, Jaleel Strong, Jayona Danielle, Missa Power, Tatsumaki. You know what I mean? Like all these, those names that I just named. Those are 2018 people. On top of the Shannons, Justin Jr., Sketch. People like that. Malia. So and it's like all these people coming in at one time. It's really crazy to manage. It really is. It truly, truly is. Because, you want to give everybody some shine. You want everybody to be important. You know what I mean? And because that's the whole point. That's the whole point. It's getting stars over. Taking somebody and giving them a name. And, people like Adrian Knight, we've had a hard time with him. But I think that after that matchup that he had with my special guest today, Johnny Money, I feel like after that matchup, he's definitely going to. He's definitely got some meat on the bones now, something that we can bite into. He main evented NXTV. That was a big deal, and I'm sure that he would make his puppy proud. XTV 04 is on the horizon, ladies and gentlemen. I believe that we got something shaping up. I see little seeds dropping, and I see potential for a huge card. All right, I'm seeing we got the deal with XTV on Twitch. I see Big Trap there talking with David, David B Boy, but I don't know if Big Trap is the guy for that heavyweight championship. I don't know if he is. I'm not sure. We know Charles Dean ain't going to have his rematch clause because he's retired. David Kidd Sr. had a great showing last night. He feels very good and confident. What is his goals in XTV? What we do know is that we got perhaps one of the biggest main events of all time. As XTV's own, The Killer is going to be going one-on-one up against J&W Boss. I don't see why this would not be the headline. But, the whole deal about it is, ladies and gentlemen, that, this is, it's another one of those kind of worlds collide type of deals where, but this time it's XTV. It feel like, even bigger scale because we got our guy versus their guy, and they going to fight each other one-on-one. Like, they really going to go head-to-head. And I'm worried for Killer. Yeah, I feel like Killer gonna get embarrassed. We might see like one of those situations where Killer ends up just like getting squashed because J&W, although he's not an in-ring competitor, he is skilled and he's smart and he figured things out. And I don't know, Killer. I mean, but Killer, you got a nice move set, but man, is that applicable in this type of situation? Killer. Sometimes and I think because over the past about year and a half, I've been seeing a lot of things, a lot of situations where Killer just ends up having stuff kind of blow back up in his face. You know what I mean? I think he's starting to learn his lesson. You know what I mean? Or maybe he ain't. I don't know. But he's starting to see, that his ways ain't working. And J&W Boss, I've mentioned before, is a guy who has not ever even made himself on a video game. But because of Killer and his actions and his vulgarness, this man is stepping into the ring, a XTV ring, and is ready and willing to face the Killer. Now, this matchup ain't signed. Of course, I believe there's going to be a face-to-face schedule, and I think I talked about this on my last podcast. So, a face-to-face schedule for these two, and it's going to go down. But more trash was talked last night on XTV East Meets West. J&W was not even in the building. He showed up a little bit later, in the program. But Killer, had some remarks for him. And even LT signed with Killer, of course, naturally. LT and J&W Boss, you heard it right here on my podcast. They get along. They get along. They cool with each other. But LT's always been the type of guy to stand up for his friends, and especially the Killer. They are best friends. I don't know. Here in XTV, they always at each other's head. I don't know if that's come across on TV. Or if they've been in a situation where they was at each other's throats. But don't be surprised if it ever happened, because they are always arguing. Wells and LT, the whole gang, all of them. So that's the deal on that. But, it's great potential, though, man, for XTV04 to be like, a gigantic deal. And, you saw the magnitude of XTV03 and how incredible that was. I mean, just with everything that ensued, and the attraction of the Iron Man match and the court case and the TRA versus Dixie, Nicki Minaj versus Josie, everything was important, and I think that 04 is shaping up for that as well. You even starting to see little seeds of maybe a TRA Dixie too. I don't know. Perhaps we saw Cassidy versus Dixie last night, and an incredible matchup. That's expressed on commentary how much he enjoyed it. But both of those two are very fine athletes, Dixie and Cassidy. We saw them shake hands. That kind of threw me off a little bit, but we'll see how this story gets told. I mean, XTV is building up, man. J&W Boss mentioned it in the comments on a recent episode or a recent pay-per-view, I think it was. I don't know. We've been doing a lot of stuff recently, but, XTV is heating up. You know what I mean? It truly is. The roster is starting to expand. I noticed last night, that with the addition of the West Coast guys, it's so much more options. It's not hard to put together a 6-match card, and that's what we accomplished last night. Six big matches on the card for East Meets West. If you hadn't had a chance, go back, check it out. We did it live, and it was a great experience, as is always. Another new live venture. I don't know if I talked about this. XTV on Twitch.tv. Myself and Yaki Najiu every Sunday morning. It's finally a thing, guys. Sally talked about it on the latest in XTV on episode 5, I believe it was, that last episode. And, yep, it's official. we finally on Twitch, and that's where I was talking about Big Trap, kind of going face to face with B-Boy. It's respect there, but everybody wants to be the man. B-Boy's carrying around that XTV Heavyweight Championship that was once held by Blood, and he's the top guy, so he wants to, he's trying to do everything he can to to represent as a champion. And the best of luck to David B-Boy for that. Of course, with Big Trap, his story is he wants to basically have a prominent role in XTV, just as much of a prominent role in XTV as he had in NXTV. And my advice to both of those guys is to just take your time. Don't rush. You know what I mean? Don't be trying to be in every little scene. All right? Just take your time and let it come organically. I promise. Pick your spots, in other words. That's my advice to those guys. But yeah, with those types of shows, like XTV on Twitch and XTV East Meets West and all of those different live ventures that we have, it's really, really helping out XTV a whole bunch. So, yeah, man, I'm gonna cut this one short. I'm gonna cut this here intro, and we're gonna get into my interview with Johnny Money, ladies and gentlemen. It's a good one. Stay tuned right after this.
Hi, Tom Bodette. Seems like these days everyone's having a little work done. Lifted, injected, rejuveplastied, and I don't even want to know what a trout pout is. Call me old-fashioned, but I like to keep it real. That's why I like Motel 6. Always a clean, comfortable room for the lowest price of any national chain, which surprises some people, or that could just be their face. Book online at motel6.com. I'm Tom Bodette, and we'll leave the light on for you.
On the line here, we got none other than NXTV's own Johnny Money, the sensation. How you doing, kid?
Doing pretty good, man. How you feeling today, Justin?
I ain't doing bad myself, man. It's good to finally have you on. I'm glad to have you here on Justin's podcast, and I'm glad that I appreciate you joining me here. I just want to know, how your day going so far out there?
It's a real nice day out here. Actually, I'm in Tampa, man, and I just came through handling a few things in the city, and then I'll be headed back to Channelside. But it's really been a pretty cool day. Believe it or not, I'm just taking it easy today, man. One thing about XTV is that we're afforded the opportunity to just have a break, man, and just take the day off. Like, it's not go all the time. It seems like it is, but if you're needed, you're needed, and if you're not in demand, then you get that time off. But when you're in demand, then it's like, you have to be ready.
You basically saying that you're not really in demand?
Well, it's like it's certain times you have to be ready for certain you're in certain storylines. Like somebody like Tavari Howard, he's in demand. Like Raylan's in demand. Killer Bob, you guys are the busy ones, and right now, honestly, like last night I was doing some work, they've got me with Francine now, and honestly, I'm really like for a shoot digging this. Like, I really like our chemistry off the bat. It's a dream come true for me. And I think it's really gonna I think it's gonna help take me to the next level.
That's interesting. You and Francine. How was that choice even made?
Good question. Because everybody thinks that like I just went to the bar the night of San Antonio and went and met some was talking to chicks and got her out of the pack, or it was nothing like that. No, it's not like it was so random. It was like a community creations deal where like, and I don't know if they were searching for me, Francine in particular, or if they just stumbled across Francine. I don't know, because we're like we're always looking through there all the time, like for all kinds of things. So I don't know. I wasn't there. I just when I came to TV one day, they're like, we're putting you with Francine, and so I'm like, yep, that's fine. I mean, I knew ahead of time before, like we were actually together, but they told me like, yeah, you're gonna be with Francine. you know. So, I knew that the break was going to happen with Jackie Z and everything, which was all planned. I mean, like, this is all working out, pretty well.
You think that everything you basically you happy with the way things rolling there for you in NXTV?
I'm extremely happy about it. You know, because I mean, it's playing out exactly how I wanted. Like, and already, like it's like I mean, people get the biggest thing is that I wanted people to get my character, and understand who Johnny Money is, and without me even learning, not saying not learning, but I should say crafting my XTV skills to perfection. I think that without that, and the fact that my personality still is able to reach the people, I think that that's what's very important. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it. So that's what you find important because I mean, and that's a good way to look at things because a lot of people kind of look at you as having, I ain't gonna say a lot of people, some people maybe, maybe look at you as having a dark cloud over your head, after perhaps the loss with Tyrone Andre. I don't know how far it goes back, but I do know that there was a bit of a losing streak. And although you have picked up momentum, it has been a very, very slow burn.
You can attribute that to a number of things. And I mean, the truth is that, like, okay, throughout the weeks after I lost the All American Championship, like, I'm just gonna tell you, man. Like, NXTV's handled a little bit different. When Miss Martha was in office, I like, if you lost, you lost, and it was a shoot. And like when Terry Williams came in, he kept it like that for a little while, but after a while he changed that. And like, because there's stories that are supposed to be told and they don't get to be told because things happen for a shoot, and then like we roll with that, which is, I like that logic as well, but then again, sometimes you just crap on a great storyline. And so that's what happened with me. And it's like, so that's why probably people look at me as like maybe losing a little luster or whatever, which is fine with me because I don't feel that way. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I always feel like I can just get right back on top. Like what you call a slow burn, I call just like morphing into something else. And then it's like people getting acclimated to that. It takes a while. It takes a while for people to get used to things. Like it took a while for people to get used to seeing me with Jackie Z. It just did. It just and then they got used to it. And now now I'm with Francine, and like it's just like weird to them.
I feel like, to me, anyway, that seeing you, not that you out there with Francine, I feel like, it's more like, okay, you're always gonna see him out there with somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and we had to get to that. We had to build to that, like, and and the only reason why that had to happen, guys, you know, is because so many people, Justin, you wouldn't believe, but like so many people are like, oh man, why aren't you with Raylan? I wanted you to stay with Raylan. And it's like, bro, I wanted to stay with Raylan. But they broke us up because Raylan was getting so popular. You know what I mean? That was not my call. Like I broke up with. We had to break up on TV. That like, and if you look at the way the story was told, that's why it was just like, I don't even know. Like to me, it just wasn't even told that great. Like why? Like the TV reason why we broke up is that is because I wanted her to do more stuff at ringside. You know what I'm saying? And I was accusing her of not being involved, but I mean that makes no sense. Like, why would she do that? Like, you know what I mean? And so it's so making me, a heel, which was, I hated having to do it. Like I hated the creative behind it, but I was just like, to me, I was always trying to figure out ways to make it work, and to make myself not a heel. That's why I still wrestled my style of wrestling, and I still like had these compelling matches, so that you couldn't deny me. Like the fans, if they were turning on me, they couldn't turn me all the way.
Well, that's naturally what would have to happen in that situation. Somebody has to be the heel, and I like in this case, Johnny Money, it couldn't be Raylan.
No, I totally agree with that. It couldn't have been Raylan. Like Raylan's nowhere near ready for a heel run. And that's not to knock her, but like she's just too beloved right now, and it's like, it's an organic thing that was, foreseen like a long time ago, and now you're starting to see the fruits of it. Like she's got her own show. She's, so at first she had her own segment. Now she has her own everything. You know what I mean? Basically, so, the sky's the limit with Raylan, and like I get that, and they didn't want somebody to outshine somebody, because 1 week I would be getting, like the rub. Then the next week, it's like 1 week I would fade, then another week she would fade because of me, and like we could not grow together. It was not possible to like, because we were going to be compared. So, I completely get the logic behind it. I would have wanted to stay with her, but it's fine that it happened the way it did, and I'm so happy for her. I swear, like, I'm truly, truly happy for her and everything that she's doing, because she's doing it on her own. And, that's something that a lot of people didn't think could happen. When Raylan first came in, people just, like, didn't think about her. I mean, it was about other girls at the time, and just not about Raylan. And now it's all about Raylan. Everything, is kind of built around her, and it's become like that.
Which was the idea for you at one time, but that had slowed down once that curveball happened up against was it Tyrone Andre you lost the belt against?
Yeah, it was. And I mean, when you look at the match, I mean, it was just such a great story told, that, I mean, just with everything, just like with the replay and all, it was like, what happened was had to happen. And then even like, even though I didn't like the creative behind, or the reasoning behind like me leaving Raylan, I guess like the way it did, the way the story got told, it made the point that had to be made to get to where we needed to get to. But I don't know, man. It's tough. It's so many variables. It's always easy to look back and be like, this wasn't that great, or this could have been done better. It's a lot of things you have to count in. Like time and just so much stuff like that.
Well, yeah, that's true. Like leading into or like somewhere after the situation with Ryu, I mean with Raylan leaving you, or with y'all two splitting up and you ending up with Jackie Z, you know, the decision was made to put you with Ryu as a tag team.
Well, yeah, so what happened was, because the idea was always for me to go to Jackie. I started out with Jackie, and then I think that she just, I think they just neglected to make her. To be honest, like she just was not on 2K17. Like they just neglected her, and she made her first appearance on 2K18. But yeah, she was the original idea to be my manager. I think that they didn't put me with her because she is a heel, and they didn't want me to be a heel in association with her. That's why they put me with Raylan, because my gimmick, they were trying to just fulfill my gimmick, which was, which is, the ladies' man, and I always have a woman on my shoulder, no matter what, and my deal is that, like I want the girl to always be somebody. I don't want her to just be some chick. Like I always want her to be like somebody important. Like I want you to care about the woman as much as you care about me. You know what I mean? I think that that's very important, to have a manager that people care about. That way, when they do something, it matters, as opposed to just having somebody just randomly outside the ring, like with no backstory or anything. And so that's why we have Francine, because people know Francine, and so like we can build on that, so yeah, I'm jumping all over the place.
No, it's good. It's good stuff. We was talking about how Ryu got in.
Well, yeah. So Ryu, that's the thing. Like once I lost, then we just kind of rerouted. And we just went to tag team, because with tag teams, like you could do a little bit more than just with singles, and they needed somebody, that I could be with. They wanted somebody that I could be with that was known, but like I don't know how to explain it, man. Like it's like somebody that but you still wouldn't expect. Like and somebody that's a badass, but that was probably never in XTV, and that's like a tough freaking slot to fill, like that was the criteria that it had to be. Like for my partner, it had to be like just somebody that wasn't in XTV, because it has to be a fresh face, because it's in XTV. So it can't be some legend that's already been around. What's the point? It's it has to be somebody that can grow up right next to me in XTV, but can have a strong enough presence that people know about, so that it can make sense, and that I'm not outshining my partner, and so yeah, so Ryu was the choice. He was a great choice. They tested him out. And I don't even know, man. They people were there. The guys, in the committee were reluctant about Ryu, because because it is Ryu from Street Fighter, but at the same time, it's Ryu from Street Fighter, So it's like it's the gamble that you take, and then they tried him out on Main Event one night, unrecorded show. And man, he really impressed, and he was doing my stuff, and for a shoot, like he was doing my stuff, the On the Money and all this stuff, and so without a question, they're like, yep, I mean, he was really good, and he's incredible. So yeah, Ryu's my guy. He's my tag team partner. We had a slow start, just like any team. Getting to know each other. But, I think that we've got, I think we're onto something right now. I think that, since last week, Ryu did his first speaking role, for the first time. He broke his silence. And so, to me, that's why I say, it's like, I'm not in demand right now, but I think I will be, and I think it's building to something, I feel like we're building a story with me and Ryu, which was the entire point of him coming in. It was like, you know, get us as a team, and then get us to, you know, to have like, you know, some kind of story together. You know, first we're together, and then, you know, and then like now we tell our stories of our issues. You know, because we are from like two different sides of the world. So, you know, it's now it's time to look more in depth to that. That's why you saw him. That's why you saw me introduce him to Francine, and he's not like, you know, really into that. You know, because like that's just not his style. He's more focused, you know, and he's, you know, just like about his craft, and he thinks that, you know, the women are a distraction. And to me, my argument is that, you know, she can help us win matches. You know what I mean? Like she can help us out, because to me, you know, and like, you know, to the Johnny Money character, it's like even when I wrestled Adrian Knight, you know, and which was the first time that Francine came out. And like he was the perfect opponent for me, because, you know, he has those heel moves. Like he caught me with like 2 low blows. You know, as good as he is, you know, he'll crap on everything that he did by doing those heel moves. And so, you know, Francine, being who she is, you know, I mean, she was just spot on. Like, I mean, immediately, like every single time, you know, right where she needed to be. And that's what I got to be honest. That's one thing that I didn't get out of Jackie Z when I was with her. And like she's an incredible manager. Like she's got impeccable timing. That's not to knock her. I'm just saying that, like as far as like setting me up for stuff, like man, we've botched so many things, and you know, she'd just be like, "I'm sorry, boo." You know, I'm sorry, boo. But yeah, I mean, you know, so you know, it's great working with them all, you know, all the time. But yeah, I mean, right now me and Francine are clicking, and as far as Ryu, you know, I think that we're clicking as well, and it's building to something, you know.
I've been fishing dolphin in these waters all my life. Summer and winter, rain and shine. And every little tuna I've caught goes straight back into the big blue yonder.
Flipper Dolphin is widely available in most stores.
Cold, hard chocolate.
Surge after surge of creamy caramel.
Melts in your mouth.
And in your hand.
Orgasmo bars of forbidden chocolate sensation, which lets you
bite off more than you can chew. Ah, that's better. How are you feeling? Not very happy? Stress and strain of everyday life grinding you down? Chini is a new herbal medication from Krishna Medicine designed to alleviate everyday life. Easing conversion to Krishna ways, Genie can fulfill your lifetime wishes for peace and unconditional love straight from a bottle. Genie, why have 3 wishes when you only need 1?
Get up, lazy. It's time for work.
What?
You heard me. Up, up, up.
I'm tired.
You need Zoom Zoom, the legal wake-up that lasts all day.
Whoa! Zoom Zoom, the recently legalized pre-breakfast nasal wake-up call, developed exclusively by the Zybotsu Corporation with rare South American plant extracts. Zoom Zoom is specially formulated to stimulate every part of the neural cortex.
Zoom Zoom really does start your day with a bang.
What's up, bros? Brian Millman here with another edition of the New Millennium Podcast, and I actually found one, bro. Looked out in the archives, and lo and behold, the Monster is a person that I interviewed, and you know, Monster's just got so many podcasts and different interviews on XTV because he's such a beloved character, and he's got such an illustrious career. And look at there. He's even chopping it up with me on the New Millennium Podcast, where it's always 420, which is probably the reason why I don't even remember that he was on the podcast. But nonetheless, he is my very next guest, and he's coming up on the New Millennium Podcast next time. Make sure you hit that play button and tune in. Chill!
Justin's Podcast.
You mentioned the Raylan Show earlier on, and Yeah. Tell people about the show and tell them about your role in it.
Yeah. So in the Raylan show, I just play myself. The Raylan show is basically the beginning of NXTV, and it's just telling her story of like, you know, how she got to this point and like how she started. It's showing the things that you wouldn't see on TV. It's showing like what's happening behind the scenes and why decisions are getting made. And a lot of that stuff that happened on the TV show was for a shoot. Like that's really how this stuff came about. You know, like I really like the episode where like everybody's in Japan, and it's like, you know, they show Raylan and she's at home, and it's like, you know, at the time, like this is what we wish we could show. Like we wish we could show you Raylan, you know, watching this from home, but you know, like because that's just how it is. It's like there's so many things in XTV going on at one time, and so like I think it's really cool, you know, to be able to capture that. As far as me, of course, I'm her boyfriend, and you know, it's just there to show our ups and downs. You know, it's just like what we go through. Like the thing with Jackie Z, like that's the shoot. Like, you know what I mean? Because Jackie Z really was supposed to be my manager first, like I said, and then it became Raylan, because for those reasons. And then they were just like Jackie Z, which she did go and do a movie, but I mean, that's no reason why she could not be on the roster just because she went to do a movie. But that's just a storyline reason, you know, because she was in Mortal Kombat, you know. So they're like, yeah, she went to go do a movie, and so like, yeah, so boom. But I mean, to the TV audience, that's not really even important though, because they never saw me with Jackie Z anyway. So to the TV audience, they only knew me as being with Raylan.
Right. But but it is that controversy, you know, because you know XTV likes to have continuity, and so when you go back to that XTV title tournament, I think that you mentioned her or something. I don't know what. I think you mentioned her in your promo or something. Or I think she might have made an appearance in your promo.
No, I think you're thinking about the alternate one. I don't know which one they went with. I haven't heard it in a long time, but like I'm pretty sure that they had cut that one, or I think they cut her out, and they just kept my part.
Oh, okay. I'm not really sure either, but I remember that happening.
Yeah, I remember she was in one of my promos, you know, just to help me. But yeah, I think that they made me just do a whole nother one, which that was shit. I mean, man, I was so green at it, and I didn't know what I was doing. I mean, a lot of stuff that I've seen, you know, back, you know, I could have had way more energy. I was probably way too high, you know. But I mean, yeah, I guess it's fine. You know, one thing I like about it is that, you know, even though I was shit at one time, you know, it does show the growth, you know, and that's what I really like.
Now, you know, we talked a little bit about, you know, the losing streak that you went on, and people considering that to be a bit of a dark cloud over your head. But, you know, that losing streak will come to an end, and that would happen at Worlds Collide up against Jay Morgan. And, I mean, like, when I first saw Jay Morgan make his appearance on NXTV, that one episode where he was hitting on Raylan, you know, not in a million years. You know, and this is one of those deals where XTV swerves itself. I'm telling you, Johnny Money, not in a million years did I think that he would actually end up pulling her away from you.
I don't know. I thought that was the creative. I thought that that's what it was. I mean, because me and Raylan had to break up, like I said. So like, and then like he was the guy. You know, he came in, and yeah, like I guess, you know, I don't know.
Maybe it was a last minute decision or something like that. I mean, your guess is as good as mine. Then neither one of us know shit. It's just your damn storyline. I just get told what to do, man, and I just do what I'm told. You know, I mean, if it makes sense, if I can figure out a way that, you know, I can get out of it later if I don't like it. You know, if I can, you know, if I can think of a way to get out of it later, then I'll just do it like that. But I mean, yeah, I mean, hey, you know, she's got to be careful because, I mean, she has to be careful. She can't just be with a whole lot of guys. It's not the same thing. Yeah, I hear you on that, but you know, at the same time, you know, I think that they're gonna keep them two together. You know, for that reason, and it'll be fine. And you know, it's like because with that, neither one of those two are in no danger. Over on AOA, you know, Raylan, you know, it's just that girl in the background. You know what I'm saying? But she got a backstory if people pay attention to NXTV. And then here, vice versa, NXTV, you know, Jay Morgan, he's on AOA, you know what I'm saying? He's you know, in her background. So I think that that's just a very, very unique situation. It is, and, you know, that's why it's like, you know, I can't argue with that. You know, that's organic. You know, Jay's cool, man. He's a really cool guy. He put me over at Worlds Collide. You know, it's like, you know, beating Jay Morgan at Worlds Collide, you know, I just felt kind of funny about it. It's just like, you know, I did have a losing streak, and then for the guy I beat to be a guy outside the company, it was just like, you know, it's just like a little, you know, I don't know. I felt like it could be taken the wrong way, you know what I mean? No, you know, Terry Williams and I, you know, on behalf of XTV, made sure, hey man, hey, you good? You know, you good with this guy losing here? You know, is this okay? Is this okay? You know, and you know, look, the way everything played out was absolutely perfect. It couldn't have came out no perfect. It was 3-3, you know, on both ways, and then of course the NWN losing. You know, inside the talk, hey, that was planned. That was agreed upon. You know, nothing else. Nothing. I don't know if I ever put this out. I probably have, but you know, nothing was agreed upon, except for, you know, the main event. So, you know, you guys went out there and you guys had the match y'all had. That's what it was. You know, one of my favorite matches on the card. So, you know, and I always say that I'm gonna go back and watch that pay-per-view, and I never do. I never ever do, but it lives in my heart, and it lives on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen, on both J&W Boss Channel and XTV World, whichever you prefer. But you know that's good that y'all got a good relationship, though. Yeah, I mean, you know, they've got something unique, you know, and you know they're figuring out how to build on it. You know, they're in a real unique situation. You know, I mean, so. They gotta figure out ways to capitalize on that on both sides, and you know, I think it's just fine. I talked to Raylan recently, and she's telling me about like what they're about to do next week, which is it's really good, you know, because she hasn't been on TV in like a few weeks, so she's coming back to TV next week, and she's in a major storyline, like she's in something huge. They was talking about making her match up the main event. That's some more insider stuff. Oh really? Yeah. I'm not even booked there. Like I'm not booked. Well, you know, a lot of people not booked, Johnny Money. You know, to be honest, you know, we still kind of figuring this thing out. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I peek my head in, and I know some things. You know, I know that for the upcoming pay-per-view, you know, we've got on top, King Kong is taking on Tyrone Andre. Heavyweight championship up for grabs. That's pretty big. I don't know what's gonna happen, man. Yeah, that's like as big as it gets, really. I mean, you know, because
and then these guys have never crossed paths, and everything has led to this, and this is what you get. It's organic, man. That's what I love about this company, man, is because what happens, and like, it's like we know a lot of times where we want to get to, but we don't know how we're going to get there. And so seeing that play out over the weeks is the exciting part. And so I'm excited for that one.
Yep, we got an unofficial match, so I ain't gonna say that one. Sketch going up against Enziguri. You know those two very well.
Yep, Enziguri.
That's gonna be a Falls Count Anywhere match.
Enziguri, both of those guys, Sketch, good friends of mine. We work out together a lot. We train together. Got plenty of story with those guys. They're gonna kill it. They're probably gonna steal the show.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one too, man. That's gonna be interesting. And then also booked is Jackie Z versus Raylan, and we going home this week. That's what's crazy. We going home this week, and that's what's booked. Like you said, you're not scheduled. So yeah, but I understand that this gonna be a slim card, and this ain't gonna be like like what we've seen traditionally. So I'm real interested in how this is gonna come out.
Yeah, I mean it's getting towards the end of the year, so it's like this way we start pulling out the big guns. So it's cool that if I'm not there, it's cool, because like I said, I'm telling the story with Ryu. I'm more than likely going to be at the Go Home show, but if I'm not, that's fine too. There's a lot of ways we can go. With myself, I feel like I can go, we can go Adrian Knight, or we can do something with me and Ryu. The tag team title situation is looking kind of slim right now, just because it's not enough compelling teams. Like, it's not enough guys that are just that people care about. So I don't really see the tag team titles in my near future. I would like them to be. I would love them to be. But Tyrus and Aaron are holding those belts, and we already lost against them, in San Antonio. So we're not gonna just keep shoving stuff down people's throats.
Yeah, that's one thing that we don't like to do in XTV is too many repeats. If it is a repeat, it's got to be meaningful. It's got to make sense, and you got to want it, and that's not the match right there.
Oh man, I don't have any problem with it at all. A lot of us guys, man, we're lifers in this. You're seeing the beginning of our career. Charles Dean just now retired. And like Justin, you've been around for years, probably over 20 years now.
Yep.
And it's like, to see guys like that, come in, he did a 13-year stint, was a rookie. And he did it all. And, he's a true example of, what you can do here in XTV. So, that's what I'm trying to do. That's where I'm trying to go. I want to have that type of a legacy, or, if I can, a legacy like Big Ten money. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Speaking of Big Ten, and A-Man Nation, they got JP over there now. What's your thoughts on him?
Man, talk about weird. He's not weird. It's just a weird feeling. And as far as I know, we're not going to be really anywhere near each other. We're not going to be. As of right now, things change, but because now you have a situation, and me, I personally, man, I see that it's gonna happen. Like, it's gonna happen, sooner or later. Like, either I don't even know how, but I know it's gonna happen sooner or later, because just cause, and then you saw him in the match last week. He moves good. He's able to put on great matches. So, it's definitely going to be something that people want, and it's just a no-brainer. It's an easy ass story to be told, me and JP. So, but like I said, it's super weird. Just seeing him backstage, and I don't know, and like when I was hearing rumors about it, like it was a time, man, where like I didn't want that to happen, man. I was hoping that it didn't happen because I didn't want to go here because I was like, damn, but he here now, and that's just what it is.
Why didn't you want him to show up?
I mean, not nothing personally against him. It's just I just didn't feel like that was the road that I wanted to go down, and I know that I'm going to end up having to go down that road. It's just I just feel like it's too weird for the audience, you know what I mean? It's just too weird, and like the thing is like I like my stuff to be realistic, something you can really sink yourself into, and it's like, man, that's just like,
Yeah, I get it.
But I mean, XTV's done weirder stuff, so, I mean, and we haven't gotten there yet. I'm just saying, that's just my personal opinion. It might turn out great. I mean, I know that we can have great matches, but, it's the story, man. You got to tell the story right if you're going to go there.
Anything else you want to talk about before we get up out of here and right over to the sunset?
Not really, man. Just keep looking out for me, man. I'm just gonna be doing, more stuff like this, podcasts. I'm gonna make appearances here and there, but mostly, right now I'm just working on my in-ring craft and just making myself a better character overall. Working on my mic skills. Killer always rails me, but Killer's my biggest fan, and like honestly, like that's an honor. You know what I'm saying, to have like him as somebody saying, like, I mean, of all people, because I mean, like he's gonna tell you, what I mean, that like you're shit, you ain't nothing, or whatever, like he said something live to B-Boy, and it's like, like, oh, what are you trying to babyface yourself? You know what I mean? Because sometimes B-Boy does have like that deer in the headlights look. You know what I mean? And like, that I ain't knocking B-Boy, man. We all do it. We all do it from time to time. It's just like, because we're figuring it out. We're figuring out our characters. That's what NXTV is. That's what it's all about. So, to get the nod from, the higher ups like yourself, and somebody like him, guys who really say what they mean, and feel passionate about XTV. Yeah, it really means a lot. So, I'm just going to keep on going, hoping that I can keep on, creating matches and moments that you guys enjoy, and, see you guys at the top.
Well, thank you, Johnny Money, man. I appreciate you being on here, and we'll catch you down the road, and see you soon.
All right, man. Justin, thanks.
Great catching up with Johnny Money. Johnny Money. That's my homie, man. He be high as hell. Yeah, he told me he be high doing them takes. But a lot of us do here in XTV, and I ain't ashamed. That's right. That's right. Very interesting guy is Johnny Money, man. Very laid back, and I think he also did a video, or excuse me, a podcast on Millennium Show. I think Millennium hosted Johnny Money. Those two guys, have been in some pretty damn stellar matches. Just because us over here on the East Coast, just because we wanted to see it. You know what I mean? Ain't no guarantee that we're going to get to the point where Johnny Money gets to the main roster and we get to see all these different dream matches with him. And it's just like, please, just this one time, what would happen if Johnny Money went up against Millennium? Just tell me, let me know. And they did it. They did a couple different matches, and it was some bust-ass shit. I ain't gonna lie. So yeah, man, I ain't gonna sit up here and ramble on, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it is right here this week on Justin's podcast. I hope you enjoyed Johnny Money and his insight on different things. here in XTV and NXTV. And I got some big guests, man. I got some big guests coming up, man. I be thinking of them, man. I be out there on the road, you know, driving on the truck, man, and I be like, I can have that person. And then I just forget it, you know. But I need to start writing stuff down, I know. But the guests that I do have on the horizon, oh, they big. They big. That's right. I got people like, who down the pike? Because I don't know about that King Kong interview, and I heard what you said, Alex, talking about you snubbed him from me. Yeah, you did snatch him from me. You know what I'm saying? Sorry about that. I hit the mic by accident. But yeah, you did. Because I had King Kong, the original King Kong first. But that's okay, man. I'm excited about AVW, though. The creator. Think about that, y'all. The creator of XTV. And if you don't know, I had an interview. My first ever interview ever. My first ever podcast was with AVW. And then it got cut, you know what I'm saying? Because back then, you know, I used to record while I was on the road. You know what I'm saying? That's how I thought of doing a podcast. I was sitting up there in the truck. I said I wasn't gonna ramble, but I'm doing it. But I'm gonna just make this last point. This how my podcast got started. I was sitting up there in the truck, and I was just like, man, it'd be tight if I had a podcast and I talked to all the different XTV people about their careers and, you know, what they got going on in their life. And I just had hit the recorder, man. Me and AVW had chopped it up. That's right, and it's pretty good, man. He talking about the early days of XTV and how I came about, and then, you know, he ended up mentioning Starboy. I think we called him Tyree. But yeah, we mentioned him, and then like after the show was over, and after people hadn't heard it, they started ripping me, talking about some, oh yeah, look at Justin. He what they say? They say, oh, look at Justin. He trying to get Starboy over. Yeah, Trunks was saying that. Oh, Starboy his pet. You know what I'm saying? And then guess what happened? Everybody started loving Starboy. It's because I had the foresight to see that people liked him. They had liked him before that, and that's what be happening a whole lot of times. Trunks, he be liking stuff, and then he forget that he liked it. He forget that he put it over. You know, did the same thing with Alexa Bliss. But I ain't gonna talk about that. You like Alexa Bliss, Trunks? Talking about, oh, she ain't performable. Whatever, man. Anyways, y'all, thank you for tuning in. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, AVW is coming down the pipe. He is my 50th episode. I don't even know what number this is. I done lost count. But I know it ain't 50 yet. You know what I'm saying? We still counting. We still getting there. But at show number 50, my first guest will be my 50th guest right here on Justin's podcast. Thank you for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. Good night.